photos, your videos, whatever you have, but we have to really sieve it out, And before we actually take on someone, we've done a lot of background checks, and because there's one thing, you can manage someone that doesn't want to be managed.
What does that mean?
That means they want the fame, they don't want the hard work. You get? So it's completely hopeless. There's no point. You need to find the person who has the drive and wants the fame as well. So they will work extremely hard. They won't sleep, They'll constantly call you at 2 a.m. We have those ones where they call us 2 a.m, like, okay, so there's this, how do I do this? And that's what we're looking for. We're not looking for lazy people. Yeah,
it's true. Do you think Gen Zs are lazy?
Yo, brother, I've just seen what you've done there. I know, right?
Yeah. Now, you know why I'm asking? Because I read a report, by the way. Apparently, most employers are letting go of Gen Zs. Yeah, they're like, they're so entitled. You think you're it. You're lazy. You lose interest so fast. Is that your experience as well?
They
with some
have
of these,
an interesting way of working.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. They're just like kids.
Yeah.
You have to sort of maneuver how to work with them. Are you going to give them 2-hour job instead of having them from 9 to 5? They're not used to that,
And let's be honest, if I can get the job done in 2 hours, why do I have to be in an office from 9 to 5?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. But I was going to ask you about how you mentioned you don't want lazy people, and then some of them actually, they want the fame so fast. So they don't want to do the hard work. And then in comes social media. So this person who has some sort of talent going on, then they're thinking, why do I already have to work hard and I have a massive following on my platforms? These guys already like me, so I don't have to do the hard work. You just put me on, organize interviews for me. Yeah.
Yeah, and clients are going to pick that. That's the problem. Yeah. So you have to be an all-rounder. Yes, you might have the numbers. Is it converting? Is this people just watching and leaving?
Yeah.
Can you attach your personality, your character with whatever brand? So it's difficult. Yes. I mean, if that was the case, then we would be managing a ton of people, but we can't, because we have to consider what kind of clients we need to approach, what kind of work that you need to, because talent managing is not fits all. Okay, so what is it that we need you to be doing? What kind of brands do we need to approach for you?
Yeah.
So those are very many things that we have to consider in a nutshell. Yeah.
Because working with talent, I think it's very demanding, especially for the younger Kenyans. So would you advise a parent to make their kids go all out on their gift, their talent, as opposed to, balancing, for example, with schoolwork, Yeah, say if you've run into some girl and she's an amazing singer, or she's got an amazing voice, she wants to do like voiceover stuff, So how do you go about that? Would you advise a parent? Because first of all, do you think the gig economy is do you think it really pays? And is it a good thing for kids, all these talented kids to go all out and, just specialize in what they do, and as opposed to, going ham and, pursuing certain courses in uni, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So first things first, what vision do you have for your kid? And what vision does your kid have for themselves?
Yeah.
Okay. So for my case in point, conventional schooling wasn't going to work for my kids. Yeah, because there was one who needed to be training from 5 a.m. to 6, 7 a.m. Then there was this other one where he will need to be in Tanzania to shoot a clip, and so conventional school would not have worked. Okay, so first things first, if a child needs to be an all-rounder, so what kind of education system are you going to give them? So I put them on online school. Right? So make sure they had their laptops or their tablets wherever they are. If there's a class, they're not missing it. Okay? So again, what's the vision you have for your children?
Yeah.
They need to be educated, but also their talent is what's going to look at Medina.
Yeah,
you get? Yeah, everyone is praising her now, but she put in
the work.
She put in the work. Yeah, and that's very important. So you have that covered, and then now you really need to what's the correct term for your kid to see the future that they can achieve. All right. So for my son, he's a fan of Denzel. Okay. And I told him, well, he picks his movies. He just doesn't do random things.
Right.
Somebody's not going to come and look at the kind of movies he's been doing. You love his art, you need to consider that.
Yeah.
And I remember when I turned down there's a movie I turned down that was going to come on Netflix, and I was like, there's certain aspects that this thing has. I don't want my child to be.
That's interesting.
Yes. And I knew he threw a fit. He threw a fit.
He was
like, this is going to be Netflix. And look at what happened next. His next movie of a series is in Hulu.
Yeah.
You get.
Yeah.
So you need to put your standard. What vision do you have for your kids? You know? And don't usikose kusema, lakini if he misses this, then.
What if one of your clients, their career is not really, it's not shaping up, you know, it's not, maybe you promised them a few things, you know what I mean? Yeah, you're going to be a star, I don't know. Yeah, and it's not making sense. Yeah, and then now they're questioning their talent. They're thinking, you know what, Murben, I'm not good enough. You know, I feel like this is not my thing. I should probably go back to school. I should get into a different career.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, what do you do?
Again, remember the story I was telling you that we need to do a lot of background checks?
Yes.
So these are the kind of things that we really need to do. We're not going to onboard you when we feel you're not quite there. You still need maybe a lot of training to do.
Yeah.
Again, when I looked at my kids, there was something about when they talk to you and when the camera is switched on. And that's why I picked, you're going to be an actor. You get. So there's that you really, I mean, when you come and tell me, hey, my son can act, but when the camera is on, you're stiff. There's no point in me encouraging you. What I'll tell you is, they will need to go for training. Yeah, give them a couple of maybe 6 months or so.
Yeah.
And even vocal training.
Yes.
She trained my son.
That's what's up. Nice.
Yeah, and then he got the animation that he did.
Yeah.
So I would have easily said, just give him and let him try and do the gig. But no, that's it's not the right thing to do. So you trained him for a couple of sessions. Yeah. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mary.
Yes.
So there's always a checklist in many creatives' lives, of course. They're thinking, okay, my 20s, I want to achieve, such and such. 30s, like that. How's that going for you?
So I fell into this creative gig economy by chance. Life happened. I needed the flexibility. I had a little child and it was just me and him.
Yeah.
So I looked at the options and I realized, you know what? I need to have the flexibility to be there for my child and also be able to make an income. So what I did was look at what do I have in my hands, what's on the table. And what was on the table was I have these 2 degrees and I can use the media angle of these 2 degrees to work on projects that would not entail me being far away from my child for too long. Now, not everybody has that opportunity, and I'm very grateful that I had that opportunity. But now, a lot of creatives I know today, like her son, is like, I'm going to get to Hollywood. I'm going to do this by this age. I'm going to, like you said, tick all the boxes. But one thing I really want to do is a Hollywood animation. I really, if they can redo Lion King with African voices or tell an African story.
Oh, nice.
In Hollywood. Mekati Lili, Wangari Maathai.
I like that. That's such a brilliant idea.
I will voice Wangari. I will voice Wangari.
I think you would kill it. Yeah.
Thank you. So that's what I'd love to do. But just to add on to what she said, always encourage your children if they have a talent. Tell them the truth. Tell them, look, go to school.
Even if it hurts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go to school at least get a couple of papers because
Yeah.
it's very important. You may not be able to achieve what you want to achieve to a certain extent, and you have the papers to fall back on.
Yeah.
But be there for your children. I mean, there was a day, the very first TV ad I did, this was not
Right.
a voiceover, this was me acting
Yeah.
on television. I was a bride. And
Yeah.
they couldn't find parents that looked like me. So 2 days before the ad, I get a phone call and I'm asked, Mary, would your parents like to act as your parents on the ad?
Nice.
So I'm like, what do you mean? So I'm like, hold on. I go to Mr. and Mrs. and I'm like, I have this ad that I'm doing and I'm going to be a bride and you will act my dad. Yeah, yes. Yes,
Immediately.
Immediately, yes. Immediately, yes.
My mom is like, are we going to be paid? I'm like, yes. So they had the time of their lives on
Yeah.
set. They were treated like superstars. And we had a really fun time. Now, the funniest thing is, those days being on television was not encouraged.
Yeah.
So a lot of people who knew them were like, you were on a TV ad.
What do you mean it wasn't encouraged for folks?
In the sense that
Yeah.
being an actor, and this is where you see the transition of creatives in Kenya, they're being paid their worth. They're being celebrated, just like our athletes. We're hearing about athletes that ran for Kenya in the 80s and the 90s, and no one can remember them.
It's true.
Exactly.
But today
Yeah.
we remember our athletes. We're all. My son is studying somewhere. Okay, he said I shouldn't mention him.
Yeah.
But he was invited by a group of Kenyans to go and celebrate a Kenyan athlete. I don't think 10, 15 years ago Kenyan students would be doing that. So the long and the short of it is, when my parents appeared on television, it was quite an interesting affair.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because I just recently I watched a bunch of artists, actors actually, reading the news on one of the TV stations out there. I was like, wow, that's different. It never used to be like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
No.
And you're very famous. I
Now,
believe.
because
now, because of Murgor.
Yes.
What have you learned about yourself? The more you
Lord.
interact with Kenyans out there, you know, how has it affected how you perceive your brand?
I've first and foremost, I've gotten a lot of love from Kenyans, and I must
Yeah.
say thank you. In terms of understanding my brand, I never realized that Kenyans would receive me so positively. I also never realized that I made that much of an impact in people's homes. I also feel that it's come at a time that
Yeah.
I'm ready for it, I believe.
Yeah,
So again, thank you to all the Kenyans who support my voice.
correct. Now,
Yes.
you were very popular. You still are. Yeah, and the industry is morphing into something totally different. I don't even think folks expected it to turn out like this, especially for voice actors. AI is over here. You know, apparently it's going to render some of us jobless. That's what it said. Do you think that's true?
Yes
Do you think
and
we're
no.
going to see a situation where now people are going to buy your voice and then they don't really need you? Is that going to be the norm?
But you see, AI cannot bring in the emotion.
Yeah.
If I'm to act as some silly girlfriend who's calling her boyfriend, Akijimu, uliniambia utaninulia simu. Yes, speak Swahili.
Those are 2 words.
Yeah.
Relax.
But that emotion, to get
Yeah.
that kind of feel from AI,
Yeah.
you have to do some amazing prompting. And even then, you may not be able to get the nuances. So yes, AI will take the bulk of the work, but I do believe that human touch is still very important.
Yeah.
And companies will pay top dollar for that.
Yeah. But it's becoming more advanced. So maybe in
course.
future it's going to sound very human.
And let's wait and see what happens.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. social media. We were talking about this off air.
Yes,
Apparently now you have to put your face out there a lot more. Murgor has ensured that you're now like an influencer.
It is.
Connie, you were eager about that at first, or what?
I liked the anonymity.
Yeah?
I liked the fact that I could go into a supermarket, do my shopping, buy whatever
So
I could
millennial.
buy. Now the cashier is like, Sema, hi Mary.
You wear where?
You wear where?
Every
Every
office.
same Matara.
You wear where? I'm like, oh wow.
We went for an event on Friday, a jazz event.
Right,
One of the percussionists came up to me, oh my God, Mary. So I thought, okay, I know this person. And that's when I realized, oh Lord, yes, they saw me online.
Yeah. Are you like a people person? You're not really out
I
there?
am a people person, but I'm also a bit of an introvert.
Yeah, okay.
I can be shy. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I can be shy, and I do like my privacy. So
Okay. Yeah. So how's your social media going?
how many followers do we have now?
We've crossed the 9K mark.
Yeah.
So
Not
we're still
bad.
growing.
What's your favorite platform?
Instagram.
Yeah?
Yes.
Old school. That's fine.
It's the old school. I mean,
TikTok, you have to do more skits.
Yeah?
And after a while, we get a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a bit clumsy, so
Yeah.
Emma will make fun of me.
Yeah, but do you find it easy to just record yourself?
It is easier on Instagram platforms because you
yeah.
can talk to camera.
Yeah.
You can just do a couple of photos and you get 3,000 views, which for us is phenomenal. Yes.
Yeah, it's true.
But now when we're hitting 1.6 million, Emma is like, you see, girl, you see.
Very impressive, actually. Very impressive. Me, I'm very lazy. I'm talking to you like I'm an expert. My social media is trash, man. I have no time for it. But I think I'm going to hire somebody to do the work. However, Murben, I see you. I see you right there. So I was going to ask you, by the way. So there's this thing called, I was reading a book by, there's a lady called Elizabeth Gilbert.
Yes.
I'm sure you know her. And she was talking about this thing called the creative curse. Yeah? Where sometimes you just don't feel like, I don't know, maybe you got some type of feedback that wasn't so good. And it affected your psyche, your confidence, your sense of self. Did you ever go through that, and how did you deal?
So
Maybe somebody didn't really like your voice.
So I come from a generation where your teachers would tell you off to your face, your parents would tell you off to your face. So we grew very thick skins.
Yeah.
Then remember, I didn't get into the creative industry because I felt that I was a creative.
Oh.
My dream, having studied political science, peace and reconciliation.
You did political science.
Yes.
You're different, huh?
I'm a nerd. And I thought I would be writing policy for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
The
and
diplomat vibes.
Yes, I studied
I see,
Arabic and French as well. So I thought, yes, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to travel with this, people who represent government. And then, like I said, life happened. And I ended up in this space where my talent is what put me at the top and opened up doors for me. So like I said, thick skin. In the beginning, it was a bit difficult when, producer tells you, I can hear the saliva in your mouth.
yeah.
And I'm like, I felt it. I felt it.
Yo, that's funny.
Wow.
There's that and the pop sound. So
The
everyone-
pop sound, eh?
Pop
Yeah.
is
Hey,
okay.
hey,
You've been
hey,
told
hey,
your mouth is dry and we can
Can
hear
you
the saliva.
in your...
Or there was a client from Australia.
Okay.
And he wanted me to sound more European.
Oh, interesting.
And he kept saying, no, I can hear the East Africa in you. And I said, rightfully so.
Yeah.
Because I'm from here.
Yeah.
It's like telling an Australian from down under, not to sound.
Yeah, exactly. So that was daunting, isn't it? Yeah. For some time, you were struggling to find yourself, maybe.
But I had very good support in the advertising space.
Yeah.
The producers, the agencies, they would sit and be like, look, girl, you're good. Just do this, 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 this. I did station imaging for 2 stations. One Christian, so you had to sound very,
Christian.
I'm a Christian, so we're not going. And then the other one was a more upbeat radio station. And so understanding how to change your voice accordingly, but it's still authentically your voice. I mean, you're not going to sound like somebody else. And the reason why they picked you is they want that aspect of your voice. So learning to change your voice accordingly and understand that when a client is criticizing you, it has nothing to do with you as an individual.
Yeah, it's true. But at first, it's very hard for people to figure.
And
You're
especially when you're young.
Yeah, because you tie your identity to the work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Murben, before we wrap up, say you've got a author, up and coming.
Yeah.
They're excited about putting their work out there. And because I feel like it's very hard to sell art when you're just starting out. Now, obviously, I mean, you have to grow into it. Probably have to be like famous as well. So, would you advise people to get a job as well? Just to live with dignity. Make some money while for example, you work on their brand and their visibility and that kind of thing. And that's generally, I'm also just asking, for folks out there, artists and getting into the game, whatever facet. It could be guys who are getting into radio, singers. Do you think it's a good thing to... Now, the reason I'm asking you this is because there's a day I had a conversation with a comedian, and he told me, Kevin, mali tumefika in Kenya, there's no plan B. The gig economy actually pays. Either you're in or you're out. I was like, what? That's scary. But I have bills. I'm new in Nairobi. Life is volatile these days. So what would you advise somebody like an author, whatever creative, how do they approach a situation like that? Should they go all in? Balance this thing out.
So the problem is with going all in. Okay. Would I say it's a problem? You have to set your mind first that this is not going to happen immediately. Get that out of your head. You give yourself whatever it is you're doing, be it a book, what's the 3-year plan that you have, okay? Be it sports, be it acting, whatever it is, what you need to give yourself a grace time, okay? Should you go all in? If you do, you've given your skill set everything that you've got, and it will pay eventually. Right? But you need to align yourself with the right people.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's why agencies, PR agencies are so important because we have aligned ourselves with clients and people. So it's so easy for you to come to us and we'll be like, okay, so what is it that you've done? What is this that what do you want to achieve? Then we go back to our clients and say, okay, so just give him a token of, and this is what we're planning to do. Okay. So it's important to have a PR agency behind you. You going, I think that's a mistake most people have done. Artists are artists. They're not the business. You get? And they need to differentiate the two. If you're an artist, get maybe an accountant or whatever, and a PR agency behind you, so you have a team with you. Yes.
What are some of the plans that you have for your agency? How do you see it morphing, into how do you see it, let's say in 5 years? Any creative plans that you have? Maybe you're going to get into sports, maybe other East African countries, aside from Kenya. I don't know. What do you see?
Yeah, we're actually
and where's the opportunity, by the way, for artists? Let's start there.
Again, I think where we're walking, where we've found ourselves is sports. So we're doing a lot of events around sports and managing sports people. I don't know if I mentioned that my daughter was one of the youngest basketball players in the Kenyan league for I think maybe 2 to 3 years.
You didn't mention that. How old was she at that point?
She started when she was 15.
What?
Yeah, she's now
playing pro.
Yeah, she's playing pro.
What?
Yes. As in, she's mama bad.
She's taller.
She's tough.
She is tall. Yes. So hopefully
she's going to be drafted.
Yes, we're hoping. Yeah, she's putting in the work. You see, that's the thing. Now she's finished high school. Now she's playing college basketball. Yeah. So we're hoping for the best. So yes, in terms of where we see the agency, it's really it has a life of its own.
Okay.
We're already seeing other countries calling us into their country to do stuff for them. So it's morphing.
It's growing. It's not quite what we expected.
Yeah.
We were thinking, we'll manage some, creative events. We'll have conferences. We'll do small, curated musician type, very bougie. And then people we knew came calling and said, look, can you come to West Africa? We have this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
So now we're discussing, okay, what do we do with our Nairobi office? And we have to go to West Africa. So it means now hiring new staff and now going through that process, things we never thought would happen at this stage of our baby PR agency.
That's amazing. And Mila, real quick, who do you see out there that reminds you of who you are?
In terms of voice artists?
Voice, obviously.
Oh, wow.
That's a good question.
That is an amazing question.
Yeah, because now you're legendary.
She's the legend.
And I'm sure the other ones, you're like, what? That mama over there, she reminds me of me. She... Yeah.
There's a plethora of voice artists out there, especially very young voice artists, and they're hungry, they're aggressive. I think even more than my age group were when we were starting out. They're very careful about what they do, their image. They're knocking on doors, in fact, kicking down doors. There's a young lady that I mentored, and what she has been able to achieve thus far is phenomenal.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
She's Kenyan?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. She's out there already.
Oh, she's big time. She is.
You don't want to mention her name?
Manya.
Manya?
Yes.
Okay. Shout out to Manya.
Yes.
I don't know her.
Hi, Manya.
I like that.
Yes.
So what's the contact info for your agency in case somebody wants to reach out and work with you guys?
Yeah, so you can reach us, our email addresses, which is Emma, EMMA at the 40 side PR, 40 being the number 40 at .Africa. And
Good
Mary?
stuff.
Mary Miller, same after that, at the 40 side PR.Africa.
Good stuff. Mary, you wanna drop that line again?
The mobile subscriber cannot be reached.
Exactly. Mteja.
SpiceFM.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
The mobile subscriber cannot be reached.
SpiceFM.
Thank you so much for coming
Thank
through,
you.
Mary,
Thank you very
Emma.
much.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed hanging out.
Oh, this is fun. Thank you.
What are you working on, by the way?
Right now, we're working on a project that is actually running on the 1st of May and the 2nd of May. Oh, this is in terms of PR company.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it's about 40 plus legends in the basketball arena.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of celebrities that have brought celebrity
Yeah,
teams.
for real?
Then we have a couple of legendary basketball players who will all be playing this 1st and 2nd of May.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And I'm going to have that conversation this hour.
Yes.
With
Yes.
Are they going to be here already?
They're bringing all their kalumas.
Yeah.
Let's do
They're
this.
coming through, Yo, so I usually say this. If you've just clocked 40, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to us, please get out there. Stop chilling, you guys, too much. And you had your talent, you're sitting on it.
Yeah.
And I generally feel like 40 is too young for you to retire, man. Like,
babies.
you don't have to be professional, but you can, just get out there and...
Life actually does begin at 40.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, you
It
think so?
actually does.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's true. It's
A lot
true.
of things are clearer than
Even if the knees hurt a bit,
Yes.
just keep it moving.
And
Go
the
for
back,
those,
it's okay. Yeah.
Do you play sports, by the way? Have you played sports?
Oh, yeah.
What one?
I was a swimmer
Ah, nice.
and played
Yeah.
hockey.
Oh, you played hockey as well?
Yes.
Ah, nice. Yourself?
I played hockey and
Yeah.
I was a runner.
For
Sprints,
real?
yeah.
What, sprints?
Yeah.
Jeez, that's scary. What's the best time you did?
At the time, it was 13 seconds.
What?
Yeah, 100
That's way
meters.
faster
Well
than
done.
me.
Yeah.
Way
I was
faster,
really,
yeah.
I broke my record every year in school.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
You didn't want to go pro?
You see, the problem is
Yeah.
when you have parents who are, school first.
School first.
And the worst scouts who actually came to me
Yeah.
and my mom and
The
were like,
what?
yo, and that was way back.
Can you imagine if you trained
Imagine.
pro? I'm
You
sure
know?
you'd have clocked like 10 seconds.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you regret?
You know what? I learned from my mom,
Yeah.
and that's why I am invested in children who have talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. So, Sawa, thank you so much, guys. Once
Thank you
again,
very
very
much.
resourceful to this Kenyan experience.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We love that.
Thank you.
Sawa,
Thank
when we
you.
come back, we're talking about what they just mentioned. There's an amazing project an event. It's called the Legends Cup, going down on the 1st of May, isn't it? Yeah, this
Yes.
weekend, actually.
Yes.
We'll touch on that in just a bit on Culture Kitchen. It's 16 minutes after 8. This is Lucy Pearl with Don't Mess With My Man, Tunikazi.
94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.